Press the bell icon on YouTube and don't miss another update.
Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial. I have one very interesting topic for you today, and that is government's decision to disinvest BPCL. The government plans to give 53% of BPCL stakes to private investors or private companies. 53% stake means the controlling share of the company government plans to give out. Today, let's discuss why is the government doing this? And secondly, what could be the ramification for India in the future? Let's get right into the show. The government had kept a disinvestment target for itself. The government wanted to disinvest 1.05 lakh crore worth of public sector units to private players. That was the target. Now, initially, the government was busy talking about selling companies which are doing losses, which are not doing well, which are draining government treasury. They were planning to sell off those kind of companies, and the example was Air India. The government said that we will sell off Air India and let private parties run it. They will make profits. They are better management guys than we are. Let them make profit and we will sell it and we will get our money. At least we will have no losses in the future, and also we will earn out of the asset that we gave it to private parties. Okay, good idea. But then the government very soon realized, nahi ho raha hai. Nobody is buying it. Nobody is buying Air India. So what the government decided? They said Air India nahi bik raha na, then let us sell the best company that we have to the people. Because target meet karna hai na, we have to meet the target of 1,05,000 crores. We have to meet the target. So the government picked the best company that it had in its roster, one of the best companies that it had in its roster, which is BPCL, the Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited. They picked this company up and they said, we are willing to disinvest this. 53% I am willing to give it to private players. And private players can come and take it and, reap the profits. Now, how fair is that? As a businessman, would you want to sell an asset which is not reaping you fruits, or would you rather sell an asset which is doing fantastically well? Which businessman does it? Let's forget about all economics and all jargons and all business and all those business and finance experts, and forget all that. Let's talk like a common man. Which person would sell your company which is doing phenomenally well instead of a company like Air India which is doing ridiculously bad and draining you of your finances? Of course, our government decided to sell it. And they decided to sell it for 68,000 crores, which is almost half of what the target, or almost 60% of the target, or what they had in mind. 1.05 lakh thousand crores, what they had in mind. So it was almost half, 60% of the target. Now, to figure out why is this not the best decision, let us understand what BPCL is. For starters, BPCL is a company that owns 15,078 petrol pumps in the country. It has 6,004 LPG retail outlets in the country. The total refining capacity is about 35 million tons annually. BPCL operates 4 refineries. One, Mumbai, Maharashtra. Second, Kochi, Kerala. Third, Bina, Madhya Pradesh. And fourth, Numalagam in Assam. And it has a capacity to convert 38.3 million tons of crude oil into fuel. This is the size of BPCL. Now, forget size. Let's talk profits. Let's talk rupee ana paise. Okay. Now, BPCL in 2014-15 did a turnover of 2,53,254 crores and made a profit of 5,084.51 crores. 2015-16, they made a turnover of 2,18,011 crores, made a profit of 7,431.88 crores. In 2016-17, they made a turnover of 2,42,047 crores and a profit of 8,039 crores. 17-18, 2,77,162 crores, a profit of 7,976.3 crores. 2018-19, 3,37,622.53 crores and a profit of 7,132.02 crores. This was one company which was making profits after profits after profits after profits. And their turnover also was steadily increasing. Now, mind you, BPCL was given the status of a Maharatna company in 2017. Who gets Maharatna status? Maharatna status is given to a company which is listed on stock exchange with minimum prescribed public shareholding under SEBI regulations. Average annual turnover should be more than 25,000 crores for the last 3 years. Average annual net worth should be more than 15,000 crores for the last 3 years. Average annual net profit after taxes should be more than 5,000 crores for the last 3 years. Should have a significant global presence and international operation. These are the companies which are given Maharatna. So coming back, you have a company which is doing exceedingly well. Year on year, it makes profits. Year on year, it has done exceedingly well, regardless of whatever was happening around it, whatever was happening in the globe in terms of crude oil and its sourcing. It was doing phenomenally well. And all of a sudden, the government decides to sell it. We will give 53% off. Let somebody else control it. Okay. Now, this was not a decision that was taken knee-jerk. You see, the government wouldn't have been able to sell it if the government wouldn't have passed a repealing and amending act of 2016 in the year 2016. I'll tell you what I mean by repealing and amending act of 2016. Repealing and amending act of 2016 made 187 laws obsolete. They said, I don't want to follow these laws because they're obsolete. They are not relevant. And you know, one of those laws were that before 2016, had the government chosen to sell this company, possibly the government wouldn't have been able to. They would have had to go to the parliament. They would have had to take a consent from the parliament before selling such a beautiful company which the country owned. So they first nullified the act in 2016 and then they started putting up the company into the market. Now this is the first thing. The second thing, very interesting, is this was also attempted by Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee in 2003. In 2003, the Supreme Court had ordered Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee's government that, listen, you can't sell it. You please go take consent from the parliament. This was a Supreme Court judgment in 2003. So, Supreme Court judgment happened in 2003. In 2016, they ensured that the judgment and the law was nullified. And in 2019, they put up BPCL in the market for sale. Now, this is an absolute ridiculous decision. People don't sell profitable companies. People don't sell companies that are putting money into the government coffers. Instead of selling companies which are draining money out of the government coffers. Instead of selling banks which are absolutely bleeding because of bad management and bad supervision. So this is the story of BPCL. To conclude, you see, in 1991, the then Prime Minister, Mr. Chandrasekhar, had to mortgage our gold to England and Japan for India to survive. He was very heavily criticized for it. Now, I wonder what is different now. At that time, we sold gold. Now, we are selling a company that's worth its value in gold. We are selling a Maharatna company. What is the difference? You decide. Namaskar.